I was always into fitness in school. I didn't have the greatest home life, so that was always an outlet, as for many people. Fitness, not only does it deal with your aggression and your emotions, it gave me a time away from anything that was bothering me. So I started working out in high school, and at lunch I was in the gym, and after school I was in the gym, and that was just my thing. My gym coach, Coach Jay, inspired the hell out of me. I seen him at the gym the other day. He's still huge. He's still as limber as hell. So yeah, that started with that, and I left high school at the beginning of grade 10 and got a job doing steel work and stuff. It was a good job, like it was something that I could have done as a career. So I said fuck it to school, because I had my foot in the door through a family friend to start a career in that. So I went with that, and then I got laid off, and that career idea was out the door. I didn't end up going back to school, but I am back in school now, just so you know. I kept working out, and that was one thing that always stuck with me, whether I was working or whatever I was doing. And it got to the point where when I was training, that I wasn't getting any heavier. Like I was sitting at 190, and that was that. I'd have 7-8 meals of chicken a day, and it's just the scale's not moving. So I spoke to a friend of mine at the gym, and just asked some questions about steroids. I wanted to take pills, but research that I did and people that I talked to, I found out that injectables was the way to go. The side effects are much less, and they're reversible. When you take it orally, it goes through your digestive system and all this stuff, so it was screwed. So I started taking steroids, and I started off with test, and that was that. And I jumped to like 210 pretty quick, and that was good. I like that. I see myself grow virtually overnight, and that was addictive. It wasn't the steroids that were addictive, it was the results. Like, it's not a miracle drug by any means. Like, you don't just shoot test and assume you're gonna blow up. Like, you still need to eat, you still need to train. If anything, you need to train harder than when you weren't on them. And it got to me mentally, for sure. Not only did I have a big ego in high school, but that thing got inflated, dude. Like, me, I had an ego, and it got really big, and it was very detrimental to me, but it wasn't something that I noticed. People around me noticed it, but I knew it all. So it didn't matter what you told me, because you don't know what you're talking about. I started seeing a girl, her name was April, and we started dating, and the relationship got really serious. And she was amazing. She was, everything you could ask for, super supportive, always wanted the best in me, always shared everything that she had, and I took advantage of that. And, even to this day, man, I'd be lying if I told you that every single day I don't think about it, because I do. And, it's been like 3 years now, and, every day I think about it, and I think about the choices that I made. And I had some good friends in my life too. Anthony and Trevor were really, really good friends of mine, friends that would do anything for you. And, when I was taking steroids, it just had my ego so inflated that, I wasn't being loyal to my girlfriend, because, I just thought that, I was better than everyone else, and better than her, and fuck, was I ever wrong, and I mistreated my friends and, you know, took advantage of them and abused them. And it was crazy, man. Looking back now, you know, I can't believe that I didn't see the things that I was doing and the way that I was behaving. And, you know, it's crazy. I'm just sitting here, I'm baffling myself by, you know, looking back at it. So, you know, flash forward a little bit. My girl caught me. And she let it slide. And caught me again, and she didn't let it slide. So we're dating, we're living together, you know, everything's good. I get caught, and she goes to her friend's house to stay with her friend for a little bit. And pretty much that was the last time I talked to her. I guess she moved in with her, and that was that. So yeah, you know, it sucked. She was good friends with my friends, and you know, obviously talked to them and told them about how I was treating her and stuff like that, and they all dropped me. And you know, it was a point in my life where I had absolutely nothing. My friends wanted nothing to do with me because of, you know, my actions and my thoughts, and, you know, thinking that I'm better than them, when really I'm not better than anybody. You know, I'm just a guy. You know, there was no reason for me to be behaving and treating people the way that I did. It got to the point where my mom wanted nothing to do with me. My dad wanted nothing to do with me. And it's not, you know, I'm not going to say that they're bad parents, because, you know, at the time, you know, it was like, fuck you. Like, what are you doing? I'm your son. Like, you want nothing to fucking do with me? Like, what do you mean about that? But, you know, looking back now, they did the right thing. And, you know, I ended up being homeless. I was living in a shelter downtown, the Yukon shelter. And it wasn't fun, man. It wasn't fun. You know, the whole way that the shelter works is you got to be there for 7 a.m. in the morning to get a bed. There's a limited amount of beds. If you don't get a bed, well, you're fucked. You know, you're outside for the night. And luckily for me, my mom works in addiction, so she has sort of connections with that. So oftentimes than not, I did have a bed, but I'm still in a shelter with, you know, fucking bugs and people who were, you know, not right up there, you know, whether it be mental health issues or drugs. And it was bad, man. When you get to that point, you know, when no one's around you and no one wants anything to do with you, you really have nobody else to look at except for yourself, for why you are where you are and the choices and decisions that you made to get you there. And I stopped taking steroids, but I still got up at 7:30 every day, and I still had breakfast provided by the shelter when I could get it, and I still went to the gym. I had an Anytime fitness membership, so obviously anytime. And you know, sometimes late night, cold night, I'd sleep in the bathroom because the door locks, right? So, you know, fob in, go in the bathroom, sleep, and then eventually you wake up when someone knocks on the door, like, fucking, what's going on in there? And no, man, I always made sure to have a positive mindset, because the only thing a negative mindset will get you is just worse. So I got up every day, and I had just a few things of clothes in a garbage bag, and I kept it more formal clothes. You know that feeling, like you put on a nice dress shirt, nice dress pants, you know, you're like, oh, I'm looking good, feeling good. That was my whole idea, was look good, feel good. And as long as I was feeling good and looking good, I knew that, you know, if I stayed persistent at looking for work and trying to find myself a place to stay, that if I just kept going, you know, a day at a time, you know, something's going to change. Because, you know, I'm not a believer in God. I'm a believer in myself. And I know that I think in this universe, the only way that something happens or something is given to you is if you are the person that makes that happen. I wasn't going to sit back and wait for, you know, somebody or something to give me a break. I took that break. And, you know, it's crazy. I look back now and I've met up with a lot of people that I've wronged in my life, and I've made amends to a lot of people, and a lot of people want nothing to do with me still, and that's fine. You know, there's nothing I can do about that. If you want to hold your grudge and, you know, you don't want to see me for anything else other than, you know, that guy that fucked you around, then I can't do anything about that. So be it. All that I can do is say what I want to say, and if you want to accept it, you can. If not, I'm still moving on. And you're not gonna, you know, you're not gonna make me out to be somebody that I'm not, you know. I was very fortunate too when I was, you know, when I was homeless. I met another girl who was very, very kind to me, Tamara. We were dating for a while. She let me move in with her, so that sort of got me back on my feet a bit, and it gave me you know, it gave me something to work for, you know, like it gave me a reason to do better. Like I can do better for myself, no problem, but when you have a woman in your life, it's a bit different, you know what I mean? Like I got to get up to work, and I got to find a job, and I got to do this because I've got a woman that I've got to take care of, that I got to look after. You know, I want to buy my girl things, and it's just, you know, I found in my life I function so much better when there's a woman involved. You know, I think, I don't remember who said it, but behind every great man is an even better woman. And that's a very, very true saying, at least for me. And yeah, no, man, looking back, it was rough, but I wouldn't change anything because, you know, the person that I think that I am and the person that people say that I am is exactly the person that I knew I was. And you know, when I was taking steroids, I had a lot of problems with myself, and I used steroids and working out as, you know, a bandage, a cover-up. You know, I had a cocky attitude and, you know, thought I was the best, but inside it really wasn't like that at all. But I used that as a shield for anybody or anything that wanted to hurt me. And, you know, it worked, but it worked at the expense of others, and it worked at the expense of myself. And, you know, I'm really happy that I'm not taking steroids anymore. You know, I have nothing against them, you know, other than the fact that I let them get to my head. But it's, yeah, you know, you get to the point where you got nobody to look at but yourself, like I said. And, you know, now I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about old things and choices I've made and people I've wronged, and now I got to message some people after this. When you're in the face of challenges and obstacles, as far as I'm concerned, from my experience, the best thing that you can do is find an anchor. Find something that you can look forward to and something that helps you. And for me, that was and still is working out. And I know that if I have a bad day, at the end of the day, it will always be there. The gym will always be there. And, you know, it gives me time to clear my head and think about things that, you know, are bothering me and that are going on in my life. And now I'm very thankful I have a lot of good friends that I can talk to about these things. And I didn't have that before. So it's been a wild ride, man. These past like 3 years have been really crazy. And I'm really thankful for the people that have come into my life to support me, and you know, people that don't judge me off of things that I've done in the past. You know, everybody that I meet, I'm always super forward about the dickhead that I was, because more likely than not, somebody's gonna bring up hips bra, and you know, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is this? What is hips bra, and what is this shit about? Did you do all these things? Did you say all these things? And yeah, it's all true, but you know, live and learn. You know, there's not nothing I can do about my past. Can only change the future. And, you know, fucking hips, bro. It was a bad time in my life, man, but, you know, I learned from it, and to this day, you know, I wouldn't change it. Sucked balls. But I got a wonderful girlfriend now who's beyond, you know, anything that you could imagine. A woman. Like, just recently I wasn't working, and she supported the hell out of me. Like, you wouldn't believe. Like, groceries, gas, driving, every single thing. Like, you imagine like the stereotypical role of the dude supporting the family, but you flip it. And she's gorgeous, she's beautiful, and I'm very thankful for her. And I'm very thankful I have very good relationships with my dad and my mom now. And you know, they're very happy of the guy, the man that I am now, as my mom likes to say. Fine. I learned through my experiences that, you know, I think it's called triumph of the human will. You know, there's nothing that you can't do if you have the will and the willingness to do it. And, you know, if you are in a situation in your life, or you have people in your life that, you know, are putting you down, or you feel like you're not getting anywhere, or you feel like you could be better, you know, you can always be better. You know, you can always be better. And it just comes down to how much you really want it. And for some people like me, it may be hitting rock bottom that makes you, you know, realize and really want those changes. Or, you know, it could be as simple as somebody, you know, going out to the bar and somebody saying, well, you're a dickhead. It's good enough. So, you know, life's what you make it, for sure. I've realized that completely, and nobody could ever tell me different. If you want something, you go get it. And if you can't get it, you figure out the steps you need to take to get it or get there. And, you know, you got to be passionate about it. You can't half-ass it. Like, what I went through made me have to be passionate. You know, I'm fucking homeless. I'm downtown Vancouver, like, I'm a bum. Like, that's not what I want to be. And that it like sparked a fire in me that made me just want to push and do whatever I can to become the person that I always knew I was underneath the bullshit. You know, today I have a lot of shit that has made life a bit more difficult from steroids. Like, now I have hella anxiety, dude. I never had anxiety before, but I have anxiety and, you know, a little bit of paranoia. I was, you know, a dickhead to a lot of people, and people wanted to kick my ass, and, you know, I'm always checking around my shoulder, you know, just, you know, it's crazy coming off of steroids and stuff, and when you get so low, you really understand yourself. And I am not at all the guy that I portrayed myself to be. I hate going in crowds. Like, I hate it. Like, I used to go to raves and stuff like that all the time, and I loved it, but that was the juice, for sure. Now, like, I hate going to the club. Like, my friends want to go to the club. Nah, too many people. Freaks me out. I'll go to a pub, sit down and have a beer. But yeah, I don't do crowds. You know, social anxiety, I got that, you know. You really, and I'm okay with it. You know, I've come to terms. I like the guy that I am. You know, my girlfriend likes the guy that I am. My friends like the guy that I am. And, you know, don't put up something that you're not, you know. Like, there's people out there who accept you for who you are, and you don't need to fake it, you know. Like, I got great friends, and they know how I am. My girlfriend knows that I hate fucking going out, like, even going to the mall, a bit much, but get a little stoned, go to the mall, I'm all right. Calms me down. But Yeah, man, be true to yourself. Be honest with yourself, and you'll find that you're so much happier with who you are. Simple things in life, man. Like, I go to work and I go to the golf course and I couldn't be happier because I'm not faking anything. I'm not pretending to be somebody or pretending to do things, you know. I'm just myself. I'm just a really socially awkward guy who likes to golf. That's what I am. And, you know, like I said, be true to yourself, because there's people out there. There's people out there who don't mind socially awkward people because they're socially awkward. You know, people like people who are much like themselves. And, you know, if you want to be a dickhead, you're going to find yourself surrounded by a lot of dickheads because people like people. So, yeah, I guess that's my little closing statement for you, buddy.